Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these are for your sun, moon and ascendant. Check them out for all three so you know which part of you I resonate with most as a reader. With that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have all right. The High Priestess. Okay, so intuition is on point this week, right? Intuitive faculty is firing on all cylinders. This week, listen to your gut. Pay attention to your dreams. Really take focus when your spidey senses start to tingle. Now, you know, we laugh about that analogy, and truth be told, I've been using that since I was like 12. I used to say to like my friends and my mum, like, my spidey senses don't like that person. Do you know what I mean? Like that's been something that I say, and you know, the funny thing is, yes, it's from a comic book / you know, all the rest of it, but truth be told, we all have a spidey sense, right? We all know what's dangerous, we all know who can't be trusted and all the rest of it. And if you've been with me long enough, you know I always say the only times in my life I've ever gotten into trouble or into hot water is when I didn't listen to my intuition. Not when I did, right? Because there are times where I followed it blindly and just been like, you know what? This is a fucking leap of faith. I don't know, but this is what I'm being told to do, so I'll do it, right? And they always pan out in my favor. The times where I ignored my intuition and said, no, you know, this person isn't, you know, it's not that, or like, no, actually they're wonderful, or no, this is the opportunity for me. No. And then the universe with its hand on its hip and its wooden spoon pointing at me like, I done told you. For your actions and options, you've got the 7 of Cups. So this week, now, the plot thickens. As I said, your intuition is always right. The gut instinct is always right. The first instinct is usually always right. That's not to say that we can't ever get confused, and you've got that 7 of Cups here in your actions and options, which means there is potentially this week a disconnect between your intuition and your actions. That's possible, and it's possible as well that you could be confused about the message that you're getting this week. Whether it's with me or somebody else, I do not care. This is the week that you outsource. Go for your tarot reading. Go to your astrologer. Go and see your spiritual worker. Go and see your root worker. Yes, you can, and this isn't to say that you know you can't trust yourself. It's to say that this is a week to outsource, because there's some kind of confusion that's setting in, and your actions and your options are your actions are somewhat disconnected. Now, for the options that are available to you, there's too much on the plate. And this is potentially why you're confused about the information that's coming through, because you need to simplify your process right now. For your communications and conversations, you've got the 2 of Pentacles. You've got this with the High Priestess, right? Now, this is hidden money. This is hidden transactions. This is hidden resources that are going on behind the scenes that you are not aware of. I'm just going to tell you straight up, I'll call a spade a spade. If you've been with me long enough, you know when it's good, I'm going to tell you. When it's not good, I'm going to tell you, right? This potentially could show up as some sort of nepotism. You know, in your studies or in your workplace, that's very possible. If you, another way this could show up is if you've got your own business and you work for yourself, this could be something that's happening amongst the employees that you're not aware of. All right, so let's break it down. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this could be actually that you overpay your school, college and or university and they don't mention it. Go back through your statements, check everything, because it looks like you've either been charged twice or you've been overcharged for something. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, one of the ways that this might show up for you is literally there are there's some kind of nepotism, backhanded favor, you know, like there's that, like there's some kind of agreement in the background that's going on. And it may even be like, you know, we had this thing in the last job that I was in. There was this one girl that I worked with who, she would just suck up all of the overtime. She never bothered to consider whether anybody else wanted any. And so when we started writing ourselves in for it, she threw this massive hissy fit. And we were like, well, you know, you're not the only person that works here. You're not the only person that wants extra money. So it is what it is, right? Now, that being said, just, you know, trust your gut on this one. Check in with your spidey senses, see what they say. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, if there is a business transaction that you are making behind the scenes and you can't talk about at the moment, or maybe you're under contract not to talk about, my advice would be not to, all right? Because this week it'll find its way out and it won't be worth, you know, it won't be worth the hassle. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this I actually think is it's kind of like I can hear a lot of you in the background saying this is the last time I will do this. This is potentially someone that you've been lending money to, somebody that you've bailed out of a financial hotspot previously and they've come to you to ask for you to do it again. I'm just going to say, right, the more you do this for this person, the more they're going to continue to ask. And the more you do this for this person, the likelihood is that they're never going to learn. All right. Now, for your love and relations, you've got the Temperance card. This is you showing up in your relationship. And this with the High Priestess, this is you and your partner connecting on a spiritual level. Even if your communications are a little bit wonky and, you know, maybe the words that you're using aren't right, at the spirit level, it looks like you guys are really, you know, you've got that connection to fall back on. Now, that being said, the Temperance card, it can show up where we are piggy in the middle. And so if somebody has been, you know, if you're let's say you're cross-watching, it's possible that your partner could have been bailing somebody else out financially. If this is for you, it could be you that's been bailing somebody out financially. This is where the disconnect shows up, right? Now, on a spiritual level, you and your partner, you know, there's a chance for you to do some spiritual healing on and in the relationship this week, but only if you're willing to have that hard conversation. For those of you that are single and looking to mingle, honestly, it's quite possible that you could have a secret admirer that reveals themselves this week. But honestly, it's like they pick the worst time because you have a lot of deep stuff going on this week. And then finally, for your money and material, sorry, you've got the Two of Swords, right? So we see the two twos. Two twos is a bond, a pact, or an accord. So potentially some financial commitment and or pact or promise that you've made with a partner will need to be revised. Again, the Two of Swords is an opposition very often, right? So this is you and your partner at odds when it comes to some kind of financial plan, idea, resource, all of that kind of stuff. Now, you've got the Two of Pentacles, you've got the Two of Swords, the High Priestess is number 2. 3 twos represent security, right? So it's very possible this week that you could make a lot of advancement that sees you moving towards security, providing you are willing to really pick shit apart and do the hard stuff. Now, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is your kidneys, especially if you are partial to a little bit of a tipple. Watch out, because you could overdo it this week. Yeah, you got the High Priestess as well. High Priestess, Temperance, and the Two of Swords. If you are single and sexually active, if you have multiple partners, one of them probably has something to tell you, I'm afraid. So I would go and get yourself checked out rather than waiting for somebody to give you news that you might need to go and get checked out. All right. When it comes to those of you that, when it comes to your home and environment, again, this is something that needs to be thought about. It's weird as well because I've seen you guys be very unsettled in the home sector for the last 3 years. I mean, this might show up in the context of neighbours or the neighbourhood. That's very possible. And it may even be that the work or the profession or the studies is impacting their living situation in some way, shape or form. If you want to book your personal session with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. Take care, and I'll see you soon.